So what we've been doing is we've been solving trig equations using the graphs. Now there is another way of doing it, another method, and it's called the cast method. Okay, it's a very, very clever method. It involves you not having to draw the graphs. But it would be a good idea if you had in front of you now, just to, as I'm trying to explain this, the three graphs. So if you could see the three graphs in front of you, cosine graph, sine graph, and tan graph, then this technique or this method, okay, will become quite clear to you, and it's a very, very clever way of just saving a lot of time. So first and foremost, if you look between 0 and 90 degrees at your three graphs, all three graphs are positive. In other words, the sine graph is positive between 0 and 90, cos graph is positive between 0 and 90, and the tan graph is positive between 0 and 90. In other words, they're all above the x-axis between 0 and 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just put the letter A in there. And what that A stands for is all, because all the graphs are positive between 0 and 90. Now if you look at the graphs between 90 and 180 degrees, the cos graph dips below the x-axis, the tan graph dips below the x-axis, the sine graph remains positive between 90 and 180 degrees. So I'm just going to put the letter S inside there. If you go between 180 degrees and 270 degrees, there is only one graph that's positive between 180 and 270, and that's the tan graph. The sine and cos graphs are both negative below the x-axis between 180 and 270, so you just put the letter T inside there. And lo and behold, between 270 and 360 degrees, there is only one of those three graphs that's positive, and that is the cos graph. And it spells cast. Hence the cast method. Okay? C-A-S-T. So what it allows us to do is to solve trig equations using the cast method. So if you look at this trig equation here, okay, I'm trying to find between the region 0 to 360 degrees. So we're going round, okay, in this anti-clockwise direction. I'm going to try and find the solutions to that equation without drawing the graph. Now all you do is you decide whether that number is positive or negative. Well, quite clearly there's no sign in front of it, so it is a positive number. And all you do is place two lines in these four quadrants to represent where sine is positive. So if you go back to my cast diagram, where is sine positive? All of them are positive between 0 and 90, so I can just draw a line like that. Only sine is positive between 90 and 180, so I draw a line like that. And now I go to my calculator, just like I did when I was doing the graphical method, and I press inverse sine of 0.7, just like I did before, and out will come an answer. The answer that comes out is 44.4 degrees. Now what does that tell me? It tells me that if I go clockwise, anti-clockwise, sorry, that angle there is 44.4 degrees. But not only is that angle 44.4 degrees, okay, that angle inside there is also 44.4 degrees. They're the same size because I've put these two lines in that place. And now go to my range. All of these I'm going to solve in the range 0 to 360. Even though I'll just show you one of the later questions how you can adapt cast if it was not in that range. So what does that mean? All I do now is I start at nothing, I go anti-clockwise, and every time I touch my line I write an answer. So my first answer is 44.4, got that one written down already. Keep going round, past 90 degrees. There's my next line. As soon as I've hit that next line I've got to write that answer down. Quickest way of writing that answer down is to go all the way to 180. Just imagine going all the way around to 180, then coming back on yourself and taking 44.4 degrees off there, and then you've got that angle from here to here. So what have I done? I've gone all the way to 180 degrees, taking 44.4 degrees off, and I get an answer of 135.6 degrees. If you want, you can keep going. Hit that line. I've hit that line. Nothing to hit here. Nothing to hit there. There's my range, 0 to 360. I guarantee those are the two answers. Let's have a look at this cos one. First thing I say to myself, is the number that I'm solving the equation positive or negative? Answer to that question is it's a positive number. I go to my cast. I say, where is cos positive? It's positive down here. That's what C stands for. That's where the cos graph is positive between 270 and 360, but it's also positive between 0 and 90. I draw two lines in. All I now do is go to my calculator, and my calculator will confirm one of those lines. Okay, it will definitely tell me that it's correct. So what do? I do cos inverse of 0.42, and it will give me an answer. The answer in this particular case is 65.2 degrees. I write that in. That's that angle there. Why is that angle there? Because I start with 0, then it's 90, then it's 180, remember you're going anti-clockwise, then it's 270, then it's back to 360. Keep going round. First hit, 65.2. No hit there, no hit there, nothing between 180 and 270, there's my next hit. What would be the best way of getting that angle? I'd go all the way to 360, then come back on myself. So what do I know? I know that angle in there is 65.2 degrees. So I'm going to do 360, take away the 65.2 degrees to give me 294.8 degrees. Type them into your calculator, I guarantee it will equal 0.42. Remember, I'm rounding my answers to one decimal place. Let's go on to this one. First thing I say to myself, is it a positive number? Is it a negative number? Answer is positive 1.9. It's tan. Where is tan positive? Look, we've just put cast in now. C-A-S-T. Never changes, starts here, in this quadrant here. Remember, this is 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. So, where is tan positive? Well, they're all positive here, so I draw a line. Where else does it tell me that tan is positive? It tells me tan is positive here, so I draw another line. Go to my calculator, press inverse tan of 1.9, and it gives me an angle. I'm expecting it to give me that angle there. Okay? In the region 0 to 90 degrees. This particular case comes to 62.2 degrees. So what do I know? I know that that angle inside there is 62.2 degrees. And think about it, remember that work that we've done on angles? That means that one there is also 62.2 degrees. Remember those two angles crossing like that? If you know that one inside there as well. I now start at 0. Every time I hit my line, I write it down. 62.2. Done. Keep going. No hit here. No hit between 90 and 180. Then I've got a hit. Hitting this line here, because that's where I've put my other line. So it's 180 degrees to there, plus the 62.2, gives me an answer of 242.2 degrees. Now, not only does it work for positives, it also works for negatives.